Over the last few weeks, I've been playing around with the cooking mechanics in DayZ because I've started to really take notice of the level of depth in the current cooking system and starting to understand what we can expect in the future for eating and cooking. During my playthroughs, I felt that going after chickens, deer, wolves, and cows would become a burden on my character and my squad mates. I thought the time that it would take to acquire the proper tools, gather the meat, and cook it would make the system feel redundant and not needed and just go back to finding canned goods. To my surprise, I didn't find that to be the case at all. What ended up happening was I became an asset to my squad and the survivors around me while also maintaining a near constant healing bonus and healthy status. I would also eat so often that when I had spare food I could pack on extra calories, which, thanks to other members of the community, we know that it's a current feature in the game even though you might not be aware of it. If you're a subscriber here on the channel, then you know that I'm no stranger to the survival mechanics in DayZ, but I have to say I was unaware of many of the cooking changes brought on in 0.61 and 0.62, and I wanted to test them out for myself. I'm sure some of you guys may have heard this by now, but using animal meat collected by large game animals such as cows, deer, and wolves increases the caloric value of the meat that you cook by a drastic rate. For example, if you eat a raw chicken breast using charcoal tabs, you will only receive 130 calories. Boiled and dried chicken have a caloric value of 193, and baked chicken has a caloric value of 600. Yeah, that's a pretty big difference. For comparison, a can of baked beans has a value of 462, while a whole package of rice has a value of 3,740, making it the best food item in the game with the unfortunate but needed debuff of minus 1,000 milliliters of water. Hell, I didn't even know that you could even dry meat in the game. It was just recently added. You can dry meat by using a cooking pot without water or a frying pan without animal lard. We can only assume that in the future, when food items start to decay over time, dried meat will be used to preserve food and have longer shelf time in comparison to the other cooking methods. Baking, or in this case frying food, can be done in two ways in DayZ 0.62. First, you can bake your chicken over an open flame on a stick, which will give the chicken the baked status. This method is slow. It will take about 1 minute and 15 seconds per pieces of chicken, but it's the only way as a Bambi to cook chicken to ensure that you get the best value for your buck. The second and much more efficient method is cooking using animal lard. Animal lard can be gathered from large game animals in Chinaris. You can add animal lard to a dry pot or frying pan along with your meat to give it the baked status. Each time you use the lard to fry the meat, it will give up a percentage of that lard. This method can cook 3 pieces of the highest quality meat in 1 minute and 15 seconds. It is easily the most effective way of cooking your animal meats, so stop tossing the lard and store it, and it might be a good idea to stop popping charcoal tabs all the time and start using animal lard to cook your meat, so you don't have to be constantly looking for resources all the time because the value of those food items is not as high as it could be. Lard can also be cooked and used as a food source in dire situations. You can eat the lard the first time you use it in a frying pan or cooking pot, or you can boil it in water, and it gives you 800 calories, so it's actually pretty decent. But I still think for the highest value, you should only use your animal lard to cook other meat, especially chicken, because you can find chicken all over the place, and just by killing one, you're getting 1,200 calories worth of value, and that's significant. The best meat in the game currently is cow steak. Each cow steak cooked with lard or over the fire will have a caloric value of 1,200. That's close to 3 cans of beans for a single inventory space. There's also something else that I found out recently which I thought was pretty cool. You could bake, boil, and dry apples, but sadly, in doing so, it doesn't really increase the value, but it's just interesting to know that you can even do that. Well, I hope that using the information in this video and provided by the DayZ Wiki, you too can use your newfound skills to help keep yourself alive and healthy, gain that advantage in combat with the heal over time effect, and help your squad mates and other survivors have a good supply of high quality food. Thanks for watching.